Hey, welcome back to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave with you yet again. It's a Friday in the summer, August 2025. It's probably hot. I'm recording this right now in the beginning of July, just a little behind the scenes. So I really don't even know what the weather's like today in August, but I'm recording this in advance. It's called batch recording. It's when you record a bunch of content in the past and release it in the future, allowing you to do other things. So I'm not recording this on the day it comes out. I'm recording it in the past. I'm back to the futuring it a little and enjoying it that now I have time in the future. So batch recording is great. I've already recorded like 6 episodes in one day for the How to Podcast series and other shows. So it's a great way to capitalize on your time. Batch record. You're already set up. You already got your content you know what you're going to talk about, so do it in advance. It's a great tip. If you want to know more about that, reach out howtopodcast.ca and I'll walk you through my way of doing it, and maybe that'll help you to kind of get some ideas on how you can batch record your show and give back yourself some time. You deserve it. It's summer. I'm not taking the summer off, by the way. Have you noticed? No. I've been doing 3 episodes a week for a long time. And why am I doing 3 episodes a week is because I want to 3 times my effort and get 3 times more content out into the world. And I have too much to say to do an episode a week. I need 3. I need 7. But I can't commit to 7 because my wife said no. So I'm doing 2 numbered episodes this month and 1 daily Dave on the Fridays. So I technically still get my 3 in. I'm not taking a break. That's just how I am. You don't have to do it my way. No. You can do it whatever way you like. But for me, this is what works for Dave. So I'm going to do this. I have a question for you, for your show. Now that I got all that out of the way. Glad to be here with you. I want you to think about this for your next time you have a conversation with your partner, your boss, your kids, or specific to podcasting, your guest. I want you to do this for your next interaction with another human being, whether it's virtually for your podcast, in person for your podcast, with your family, with your friends, whatever. Anybody can do this. You don't have to have a podcast to do this. I want you to be intentional, and I want you to maybe even put this near your monitor if you're recording your podcast with a guest, is to make note of this and make this a priority on your next interaction. Really, if you're a host of a podcast and you have a guest on your show, this is really something I want you to put into place. This week, do it. Tell me what it is, Dave. Okay, I want you to listen to the end of a person's sentence. You're like, that was a lot of lead up for nothing, Dave. Like you brought us to the edge and then what? Yeah, no, that's it. That's really it. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. No, listen to the end of a person's sentence. Really? Yeah, no, that's it. Why? Because when I'm listening to podcasts, I listen at work. I work a night job and I get roughly 35 to 40 hours a week of listening time to podcasts. I do. I listen to a lot. I record a lot and I listen a lot. And what I'm noticing is an overwhelming number of podcasters who are not listening to their guests. Like, at all. It's like they have a clipboard and they have their clipboard and they have their papers and they're just trying to get to the next question I have written down here on my clipboard. They're not listening to their guest at all, and it's obvious because they're not picking up on things. They're not picking up on clues and little hooks and little threads that you could pull and get a better conversation. They're not listening to the end of the person's sentence. And I want you to be intentional that you're going to do this week. If this is not your common path that you take in your podcast, make it your common path. It's going to feel really awkward. And you can even tell your guests in advance, listen, when we have our conversation in the recording, I'm going to ask you a question and you're going to answer. And I might leave like a half a second of pause as I think about my next question or whatever. But I want to make sure that I'm listening better. I know as a host, I can be a better listener, and I want to honor you as a guest on my show. So that little half second of silence, I'm just going to clean it up in the edit, and it'll sound nice and cohesive, but that's kind of how I do my show. It's a way for me to reflect on what you just said without feeling the need to fill in the gaps with ums and ahs and because a lot of people, they like to go, a lot when they talk, because they don't know what to say next, and they use these crutch words as commas to fill up the gaps because it's like we think we're on radio or something and dead air is bad. It's a podcast. This is not radio, people. So don't try to fill every millisecond with a noise. You don't need to. Having that little space at the end of the answer from your guest is not a bad thing. You have a chance to think about your next question while processing the answer you just heard without feeling the need to come in as your guest says their last syllable. You're already asking the next question. You don't need to do that. So I want you this week, your next interview, your next conversation with your partner, your kids, your boss, whatever, your server for your meal, I want you to listen to the end of the person's sentence. I know this is earth-shattering, and you're probably going to have to write this down. But I tell you, if you're not aware of it, you might be cutting people off. You might not be giving people the opportunity to get out their complete thought. You might be like tailoring the content to the point where it's frustrating for your audience. I know as a listener of podcasts, especially podcasts about podcasting, a lot of these gurus are very impatient. A lot of distracted squirrels in podcasting, and they're not listening to their guests. My challenge, as earth-shattering as it is I want you this week in your next episode to listen to the end of a person's sentence. And leave a gap. And be okay with that. You don't have to take out every silence. You don't have to take out every little pause. Some people will tell you that you have to. Remember, there's no have tos. Make your podcast have a gallop. Make your podcast have a flow. And don't be afraid of silence. The best part of music is what happens between the notes. That's where you get the most feel and the most emotion, is the silence between the notes. Between that F sharp and that B flat over to the C. That's where the music is. In between the notes. So use them. And listen to the end of your person's sentence on your next podcast. Tell me how it goes. howtopodcast.ca. Thanks for being here. Happy August. Be safe. Enjoy your summer. Enjoy your whatever you're doing with your family. Happy weekend. We'll talk soon. Thanks for being here.